The reason why I went to athletics was because I was lazy. So from the very beginning, it was always about winning medals and being at the right place at the right time to win medals.
How did you do it? I mean, what's the magic behind?
Well, I would say, obviously, the rest of the world were rubbish. When you're in great shape and you can do it, you should do it. I had this sense of enjoyment. I loved what I did, you know, and I was willing to work hard.
To be 18 years, more or less, on the top. I mean, this is impressive.
I know. It's only when I broke the world record at 26 where I realized, well, hang on a minute, maybe I should take this a little bit more seriously. I think where you know you're getting something, but also you are giving a lot, it makes a huge difference. My biggest lesson was don't be complacent. Never have complacency in your life because it will bite you on your backside when you least expect it to happen. Life is really short, but you can make it really fun. So enjoy it, make it be fun, but never, ever, ever not take it seriously.
Dobrodošli v Mentor Effect Podcastu, prostoru, kjer šport, znanost in človeške zgodbe postanejo učilnica. Naš namen je jasen, odpirati pogovore, ki jih športniki, starši športnikov, klubi, trenerji in predvsem mladi športniki potrebujejo, a jih prepogosto preslišimo. Video sva Urška in Luka in danes v naš studio prihaja gost, ki je dobesedno oblikoval zgodovino atletike. Colina Jacksona smo imeli priložnost ujeti ob njegovem obisku v Sloveniji, kjer je bil glavni govorec na sportokonferenci v Portorožu. Zato bo današnja epizoda potekala v angleščini, ker takšnega pogovora preprosto ne smete zamuditi. Colin Jackson je eden najboljših tekačev čez ovire vseh časov, svetovni, evropski in olimpijski medalist. Človek, katerega rekordi so stali več kot desetletje in ime, ki v atletiki še danes pomeni tehnično popolnost, eksplozivnost in izjemno mentalno pripravo. V tem pogovoru ne govorimo le o rezultatih, ta pogovor nama bo ostal v spominu predvsem iz 3 razlogov. Prvič, ker Colin izjemno iskreno govori o mentalni trdnosti. Drugič, ker odpre temo življenja po vrhuncu kariere. In tretjič, ker pokaže, kako ključno je ostati zvest samemu sebi. Colin odkrito spregovori tudi o motnjah hranjenja in o svoji spolni usmerjenosti. Je gej in o tem spregovori brez zadržkov, saj verjame, da je prav resnica tista, ki športnike zares osvobaja. Preden pa skočimo v pogovor, pa imava prošnjo za vse vas, ki nas poslušate. Sledite nam in delite epizodo naprej. Tako pomagate, da zgodbe, kot je Colinova, dosežejo tiste, ki iščejo navdih v vrhunskih karierah. Dobrodošli v Mentor Effectu. 36 you retired.
36? Yeah, I was retired.
And 18 years long career. This is quite long. I mean, when I look from my side, it's a very long. For me, it's another 6 years. But when you think every year doing the same.
Yeah, it's hard. And I think for me, when I knew when I was going to retire, I really made the decision, I am going to retire.
Okay.
And that was hard for my coach.
Okay.
For me. Because he was saying to me, if you're talking about it, you should just retire.
Okay. So we'll start here. So just to introduce you a little bit to our audience, not that you're not a legend, but let's say for a younger audience, today we are sitting here down with the track and field royalty, one of the greatest hurdlers of all time, a man whose record stood for over a decade, whose career longevity is the stuff of a legend and probably the fastest guest we will ever have on this podcast. World record holder, multiple time world champion, European champion. And there is a little topic, Olympic silver medalist. I think with that famous story about why it wasn't gold. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Colin Jackson, welcome to our Mentor Effect podcast.
Listen, it's a real pleasure to be here. It's an honor that you think I'm, the fastest that you've had.
Yeah. Not that I'm sure that you are, especially because what we are talking about a little bit earlier, I think you are the fastest guy.
I'll take that.
Still for now on the radar. I hope somebody will beat also this record, but we will see.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
You never know. But no, thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So Colin, it's an honor to have you. So your career is one of the most dominant and consistent that sport have ever seen. When you look back at your incredible journey, is there one moment that still gives you goosebumps?
That's a great question. Do you know, I was always, everything was goal objective for me, right? So I had a target every single year.
From the start,
always. And I think because my the coach that I had, a guy called Mark Kamal, the coach that I had, he was coaching me from I was 15. And so when you join him, and he was a national coach at the time as well, he would explain a lot of things about how he thought your career was going to go, right? So as I got older, I saw him have the conversation with more and more athletes, and I was realizing like I was just one of the hundreds that I had this conversation with when you get used to it, right? But he was always important that goals, and medals are always going to be your targets. So from the very beginning, it was always about winning medals and being at the right place at the right time to win medals. And so every single year, because every single year for us virtually was about a championships, as long as I got a medal in it, then I achieved my goal. So there was not one particular moment where you'd say, oh, that was outstanding. Of course, you set history in the sport, right? When you break world records, it's great. It's great. But part of it was expected. Does that make sense? And because it was expected, you just fulfilled what you should do. And so it wasn't a surprise when I kind of broke the world indoor record or outdoor record. I mean, the indoor record was even worse because my coach was kind of really grumpy. And every race I was running, he's like, why didn't you break the record? Why didn't you break the record? I'm like, it is a world record, Mal.
But how did you feel at this time? Because
annoyed. Because he was expecting it was easy. And it was never easy. But like, he believed when you're in great shape and you can do it, you should do it. So that was always his expectation.
From the 15?
From there right the way through. Yeah, okay. Always. And so it's there'd be times where you had championships where, your friends did well as you doing well.
As and that makes it very,
and that makes you smile. That makes you happy. Unless it's like the Olympic Games, but we'll get to that.
I know.
But yeah, so those are the ones that kind of, when you do something that's pretty outstanding as well, and your mates do something really outstanding, then you do get that gives you a little extra pleasure, I think, because you're celebrating something together. Yeah. And that's nice.
Yeah, because it's a team. You were always training in the team. Yeah. But we have to step a little bit back because we have to know you a little bit from earlier age. Because you grew up in Cardiff in Caribbean household. Mm-hmm. How did that cultural mix shape you as an athlete and also as a person?
Yeah, hugely. I think being... my parents are from Jamaica, and so the whole extended family is Jamaican. So it's noisy. Yeah. And so my first love in sport actually wasn't athletics. It was cricket. So cricket is big in the Caribbean. So, of course, that was going to be my sport. Cricket. But when I always laugh when I say this, because the reason why I went to athletics was because I was lazy. Now, hear me out, right? Lazy, right? Hear me out. So I was playing cricket for our county, but also running for the city. And there was a cricket match and athletics competition on the same day. And I had to choose which one I was going to go to. Now, the cricket match was like a 3-hour journey. And like the athletics competition was like a 5-minute walk from my house. And because I wanted to get home to watch a specific television program, I did the athletics. And I never did cricket again. That was the end of my cricket career.
This is the story behind of the broadcast that you were watching.
That was it. Literally, that was it. And if it had been the other way around, I would have played cricket that day if the cricket was at home and athletics was 3 hours away.
So thank you, the television, for this broadcast that brings you the sport that you achieved everything possible.
It's mad, isn't it? It's just mad when you think of how things just change literally on a dime. Yeah. I mean, because when you're young, 15, you don't make, it's 15 at the time, you don't make decisions rationally.
Yeah. I know you have many decisions and many ideas about your life.
Right. Yeah. You don't do that. You just do what's happening because it suits me now. Yeah. And so, that was it.
And there's another thing that, you ever felt that you have to prove yourself more because you were growing up as a black kid in Wales? I think this should be hard one way.
Yeah, I mean, being first generation British, right? Okay. So, of course, your parents are from the Caribbean and they're trying to establish themselves in this country. Then they have kids. And then the kids are trying to establish themselves in this country. And when you're first generation, it's an odd sensation, really, because your parents still have what I describe as a home, which would still be Jamaica for them. That's where they were brought up. That's what they knew. That's where they were educated. So they have a home there. If we went as kids to Jamaica, we weren't considered to be Jamaican, right? Because we're born in Britain. So we're foreigners for them in that sense. We're very much British. Yeah. But also the problem is when you're first generation black in Britain at the time was still having its troubles with racism, etc., and settling, being allowed to settle into that country was difficult. So even then, the place I was born and the only place I was educated and I knew, wasn't a comfortable place for me either. So you kind of lost a little bit because you definitely don't have a home, and where it is supposed to be a home is not treating you like a home.
So you have no home specific.
Yeah. So being first generation in a new country, in a new setup, a new everything, is difficult. And it's a story that you would hear from everybody's first generation of that era. And from where they could be from Asia, from India in that sense, or from Pakistan, or from Africa, whatever they were coming from. When you're arriving into the country then, and your first generation, it's very, very different. The kids nowadays they have it easy, man. We did all the work for them. Right?
All the basics said, they're just building the house.
They got everything. Yeah. They just do what they do, right? And we did. So it was very, very tricky in that sense. But in the same breath, I think that was the fact that you were allowed to be celebrated being black and British. Yeah. So, I'd watched some of the big icons in athletics and British ones, Daley Thompson, Tessa Sanson, who were all black and Olympic champions were being celebrated incredibly. And again, that allowed you to believe, well, I see what I see. That means that I can be that too.
So this is one kind of your inner driver that is driving you forward to push yourself, that maybe this is kind of a, not free pass, but a way to prove yourself. And
absolutely. And you can be generally celebrated. And I think that's, and as I've gone through the whole of athletics now, I've seen it and actually seen it in place. I watched the London 2012 Olympic Games and people were screaming for Mo Farah to win the 5K and the 10K. I mean, the whole nation was supporting Mo Farah.
I'm a big fan of him.
You're a big fan of Mo, right? Yeah. So to see how our nation was behind one young kid who didn't come from Britain in that sense, had a hard upbringing, arrived here in the circumstances of Britain, but Britain took him in and they are celebrating it. And so that, to me, made it magic. And it just brought back all the memories to go, I understand why we're here. And we get a chance. We have a chance.
I think that's a cool story about the sport, because for that moment of the game, all the borders are forgotten. Maybe for just a couple of seconds in your case, or in Mo Farah for a couple of minutes, but it really... no borders. Doesn't matter. Time
after time after time. If it's repeated, then it becomes the norm.
Yeah.
And that's what we strive for in that sense, that you can just celebrate success. Yeah. Doesn't matter who's giving you your success. As long as you're wearing the right vest, the right time, you can be celebrating.
No, that's a cool story and I like it. Yeah. But and then we cannot overpass this, but you have one of the longest consistent career in athletics. How did you keep the joy alive while staying at the world level for so long? I mean, we just discussed before you started at 15. You finished at 36. You entered the top level at 18 approximately. So 18 years of life, then the whole 18 years of top level athletic. How did you do it? I mean, what's the magic behind?
Well, I would say, obviously, when I first started off, the rest of the world were rubbish. Right? So they must be really easy to get there. Right? Must be really, really easy. No, I think I had this sense of enjoyment. I loved what I did. And I was willing to work hard.
Okay.
And I think if you're blessed with a bit of talent and you have the ability to work and things fall right. My coach was one of the best coaches on the planet. That helps.
And this is a combination that happens that you met him.
And that's, and he lives 40 minutes from my house. So, of course, that's great. All the training group were themselves established either British internationals or had aspirations of being that when we first kicked off. So all the formula was right for you to work, you know? So if you have that sense of wanting to do it, have the ability to do it, enjoy doing it, then the work becomes really easy.
It's like a game. Then you're playing a game.
That is all it is. And it's only when, I know, it's only when I broke the world record at 26 where I realized, well, hang on a minute, maybe I should take this a little bit more seriously. Because up until that stage, it was just play. I mean, it was great playing. You're playing with your friends, literally, and people are paying you to play. It's great. When it got a little bit cold, I'd ring up one of my mates and I'd say, oh, who fancies going to Australia for the next 6 weeks? And they'd be like, oh, I'll come down. I'll go down. And then we all just go to Australia.
Why not? Let's go to Australia. It's warm there, yeah.
All these things go hand in hand for you to keep focused on what you want to do. And every time you're successful, you want a little bit more success. You want a little bit more success. And as that gets layered and layered and layered, it becomes easier for you to work hard and to stick with it. And of course, I was running fast early, you know, and that helps. Yeah, obviously,
it's a big drive behind. I mean,
it does help. It does help. And when you're doing that, and goals are set constant for you all the time, and you're one of these people who are in that mindset, then it is really, really easy to keep it going. The problem is and at 36, just before I was about to retire, I started to not enjoy competing.
The whole, the competing part. Okay.
I love the training, because that's already in you.
Yeah.
But, I didn't want to leave home and take a plane and go to Zurich and race another 110 meter hurdles that I've run there for 17 years previously, where it's the same chocolate cake, the same fruit juice, the same coffee machine. Everything's exactly that I've seen when I was 17 years old, 18 years old. So, yeah, it was, so you kind of get your call in to retire. Yeah. And even though, I mean, I laugh at this because my final outdoor race, I ran kind of like, I think the European Championship was like 13:11, which is exactly the same time I ran when I was 21, picking up the Olympic silver medal.
So it was like a pyramid.
Level. So yeah, so it was like that. And I was like, okay, I retired the way I began the Olympic year, which is okay, right? Which is okay.
But how, I mean, before you said that everything was target orientated, there was goals. But when you, let's say you are a world champion, you reach the goal. Yeah. What's behind? Because I see many cases when the athlete reach the goal and then it's empty.
It's hard. You've got to reset your goals quite quickly.
Yeah, because you need a new goal. Yeah. Otherwise it's empty.
Quite quickly.
Yeah, the next day.
Literally. And you know, we laugh and we joke about stuff like that, but it really is important that you don't, you need to celebrate, right? So don't get me wrong. You need to celebrate what you've done because your achievement is great.
Yeah. I mean, the world record is the best you can do in the sport.
But unless you're going to retire, which most of the time you're not going to, right? You need to reset your goals quite quickly. And I remember I went to the stage where I decided that once I'd done that, I realized that I lost 2 competitions during the year to get there. And I was like, well, I just don't want to lose. So as the world record holder, I shouldn't be losing. So that was going to be the new target. So that was quickly put in place. And then I went 44 races unbeaten. Yeah. And that was just a mind change. So you got to, you know, make those decisions quite early. So that gives you your focus for your winter training, where the real hard work goes in. And when you can't rest going, well, I'm the best in the world now, so I can sit back and do nothing. It's the opposite. You know, I was like, I'm the best in the world now.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
No one's going to take that from me. Yeah. And so it's really important to reset the goals.
I think it's easier sometimes to be the one who is catching somebody than to stay on the top. That's why I'm asking, because to be 18 years more or less on the top, I mean, this is impressive because let's say to achieve one goal, okay, you're good. But to be 17 years and there are youngsters coming in, everybody hungry, you know, to beat you. You have the big target on your back and know that nobody beats you. I mean, this is...
I kind of like that.
I feel you in some cases because I'm also an athlete, but it's hard sometimes. Yeah. It's a big pressure. Yeah.
I spoke to Usain Bolt about this not that long ago. And we were speaking about goals and going into competition, and how does he feel going to competition when the whole world is expecting him to be the champion, right? And he said, everyone, Colin, I went in with the mindset of being an underdog. So I wasn't the champion. So I was chasing. So it didn't matter who was in the field. I wasn't the one people were chasing. In his head, he was chasing other people. And that was what was necessary for him to stay at the very top and keep pushing himself. So again, it's like, what works for you, put it in place, put it in practice. Yeah, for sure.
And you became a global star at very young. I mean, at 18. What helped you to navigate through the fame in healthy way? Or maybe sometimes there were some problems also with this, because at 18, that all the world is under you. I mean, how did you manage to...
I was lucky, very grounded. Parents were good. But also my sister is a TV star herself.
Okay.
So, like, you're not even the best person in the family. You're not even the most famous person in your family. You know, you'd walk the streets, you know, even today I walk the streets with my sister and people are stopping my sister, taking photographs, autographs. I always giggle because if I put stuff on my social media with me, I may get, 14, 15,000 people kind of like, you know, seeing, viewing, and as soon as I put my sister in the picture, it goes into the hundreds of thousands straight away. So it kind of tells you who the famous one is in the family. It's definitely not me. So I think that helps. And also when you're surrounded by people who are achieving with you, then there's nothing for you to be boastful about. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because like, you're just as good as me and you're just as good as me and you're getting all the accolades that I'm getting. So it's a normal scenario that you're in. And I think that's what keeps you grounded quite quickly. That I think. I don't know. I think. Well, that's the only thing I can give you.
No, that's a good one. Yeah. But there is one thing that we should not skip. Your Olympic silver medal famously came a lesson of humility or something like this, because you said you got a bit too cocky at one point. What actually happened on this day? I mean, now when you're describing me everything with this, all the lessons, I mean.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know, I always go like this. Picture this, right? You're world number one.
Yeah.
By far.
Clearly.
The world number two is your training partner, who you're burying every single session, right? So what's the big deal, right? You're only going to go to this competition. The next best person is the person you beat up every day, right? So it's not going to be too difficult, this nonsense, right? So you think the Olympic Games, easy. It's not a problem. So I ran a very quick first round, 13:10, and I was literally jogging. And I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm breaking the world record. There's no problem. Easy. Done. And even Mark, my training partner from Canada, he was like, oh man, he went, when everybody saw you coming across the finish line, everybody started saying, oh, well, who's getting second then? Because there's only one gold medal and it's going right there. And I kind of believed the hype. So instead of doing what I was supposed to do, was keep focused and concentrate and do my job, I kind of started being the superstar that you think that 18-year-old should have been, right? But at 25, I should know better. And so I didn't warm up for the second round because it was like, what's the point? I'll just amble my way through and get ready for tomorrow. So in my head, I was already the Olympic champion and just going to break the world record in the final, full stop. Yeah. And I ended up I hit one of the hurdles, a couple of hurdles in the second round, and I ended up pulling my left oblique. I literally tore it.
Oh.
And that was the end of the championships because I literally couldn't lift my leg up or swing it. I lost all stability in my core. And I was mortified. I couldn't believe it happened. I just couldn't believe, because even if I kind of just ambled through the second round, I should have been able to do enough to qualify. Easy. I end up hitting the hurdle and it just tore the muscle. And that was it. And then my training partner wins the gold medal.
I want to ask you, how is this? Because you're one of the best friends, your training partner. And
he lived in my house.
Yeah. I know this. From one side, he's your best friend.
Yeah.
And of course, you said, congrats, man, you are the best.
Yeah.
But from the other side, you imagine yourself the day before with the gold medal around your neck. Yeah. And now he's standing. How did...
It was hard.
I mean, this is...
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was really hard. Not only that, because he was living in my house. So when we left Barcelona Olympic Games, we were going back to my house. And going back to my home, my mother was there, my father was there. And Mark asked my mother, I remember he asked my mother whether she wanted to see the Olympic gold medal. And she told him, no, what do I want to see it for? And like, he was like, oh yeah, I kind of get it. Yeah. And he was embarrassed to be the Olympic champion because he knew the story. Right? And he's living in my house.
Your life is full of the lessons. I mean,
so he was really embarrassed to be the Olympic champion, but I was okay with it. I generally was okay with it because, and I'll tell you, I learned a huge lesson. My biggest lesson was don't be complacent. Never have complacency in your life because it will bite you on your backside when you least expect it to happen. And that's a life lesson I carry with me for the rest of my days. Full stop. Yeah. But also for me, what he proved was the training that we did, the preparation that we did was absolutely spot on to become a champion. Yeah. And so it was only my attitude that stopped me from...
So it was a mental game. So everything was
there. It was set for me and it was just me who let myself down and the whole team because we were thinking gold and silver in our training group, which is exactly what
That's the only option
that was the only thing. Yeah. That was the only thing. And it kind of didn't go, but just because of complacency and it cost me an Olympic gold medal and I never had the opportunity again because the rest of the games I was going to, I was injured, but I had knee problems, quad problems. And that was the first two Olympic games were the only really smooth Olympic games where my preparation was spot on.
I mean, that's hard to swallow at the end of the day, but then after time, do you think that this gold medal would change your life or it was a good lesson for the life that you went even higher? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I do. And I think, to be honest, I think it was a good lesson for me to have. If I'm honest. Otherwise, I'm laughing here because otherwise my career was just going out. Just going better. Yeah. You know, and then when it's always going one direction, then you kind of have a sense of, well, you're untouchable. Yeah. And when you're young and you believe you're untouchable, you're going to hit a heavy pitfall somewhere. Yeah. You're going to get something. The longer it lasts, the harder it comes back. Exactly. Yeah. So I think learning a lesson quite early set me up for the rest of my life better. And so now I look after every element of my life better. Yeah. Courtesy of I know that your legs can be taken away from you at a moment. If you're not always at any moment. Yeah. Yeah. You're not untouchable at all. And then, so you said then you were 36 and you said that's the end of my career. Yep. But how this comes? I mean, I'm also an athlete. I hope for some more years. Yeah. But at one point you said that's the end. And you're on the top of the world and you said that's the end. I will finish. Yeah, well, I know how old you are, remember? Yeah. So, so I remember turning your age you're about to turn. Yeah. Right? I heard it's painful for you, so we'll skip this story. Yeah, and I'm looking back. And why, when I turned 30, I remember I hated it. And I hated turning 30 because I knew it was going to be the decade that I retired from athletics. Okay. And so, because I'm not going to get into the 40s, right? Right? The level. Also my man. So, right. So when I turned and I knew, and then I reflected and I looked back and reflected all elements of my sport and what I've done, what I achieved. And it was just so great as a memory that it sounded and felt awful that it was going to come to an end. So, and I knew it was come to an end in this decade, that decade. And so that was what really got me low. But at the end, making the decision to retire wasn't too difficult because I had enough of competing. I wanted to do other things. You know, athletics, when you're so good at such a young age, takes over your whole life. And I remember numerous occasions my mother saying to me that, you gave a lot. You all your youth has gone to athletics, all your youth.
And I was like, yeah, but it was a choice, right? I chose to give it. It wasn't like somebody said to me, you have to do athletics. No, I wanted to do athletics. And it gave us all, the whole family, the lifestyle that we lived and still live, courtesy of that. So I would never, ever, ever have regrets on starting my athletic career so young and being successful so young. And retirement, when I retired, was the right time because I wanted to do other things. Yeah. Other things like people will laugh about. I wanted to go snowboarding. I wanted to learn how to ride a motorbike. I wanted to do all those type of things. And
because sometimes the sport is kind of a prison because you're
locked in.
This is a kubus and you're inside. Yeah. And outside is the other world.
Absolutely. And so I didn't want, I wanted that to stop. Yeah. And I needed it to stop.
But then it was hard to go to sleep and the next day wake up as a normal person. Yes. Like there is no training.
Yes.
There is nobody bringing you the breakfast in the morning.
Yes. It was, I remember on the Sunday night, one of my best friends came to watch me race and he said, today you're somebody. Tomorrow when you wake up, you'll be nobody. And I laughed, first of all, and I laughed at her. But then I started to think about it and I was thinking, he's right. Because today I'm like the world record and I'm in an event. So I have status. Once I've left that arena, I have no status at all. So I have to find something and find my way through.
You knew identity also. Yeah.
Everything's gone.
Yeah. Just Colin.
You are just like, Colin. And that's how I felt. But if I spoke to people, they would always go, no, don't be stupid. But for me, it was like, no, that's how I felt. I've got nothing really in comparison to what I'm giving up. And so it was an interesting challenge.
No, I mean, that's why I'm asking. Because
it was an interesting challenge. Because I had lots of anxiety attacks because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I was never sure. I'd already worked out. At 36, I'd done two things in my life. I'd gone to school and I did athletics. That's it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I've got to try and live another 18 years minimum. If I live another 18 years, like, how am I going to fill it? Because there's no school, there's no athletics. Work. Oh, okay. Well, I really don't know what that is. So this is going to be a real struggle. Yeah. So I suffered a lot from anxiety attacks initially. And I remember my doctor always saying to me, you'll be fine. You will be fine.
You only need time.
Just take a moment, realize you're retired, things will come to you. And then literally, as the doctor was telling me those stories, offers were coming left, right, and center. And first of all, I was scared to say no because if I said no, I may not get anything. So I said yes to everything. Now I say no a lot.
Yeah. It's also a hard lesson to learn, huh?
Yeah, you do. You learn those things. So, and then once I settled into it, we are where we are today.
But there are also two things that after career went out, but they were also going on during your career. And one thing is you bravely spoken about your struggles with bulimia, because some things that almost nobody associate with the male athlete, especially maybe with the female, but male, at least I don't hear it so much. Yeah. So how did it start and what helped you to overcome the bulimia afterwards? Yeah,
it was tough. I mean, I remember, as an athlete, we had no real help. In a sense. And I did a big documentary for BBC on this topic in sport, especially for male. Yeah. And I had so many people coming back to me from my sport, apologizing for not being there, not supporting when I needed it. And it's a tough old journey to go on because you're still trying to push your body through the toughest times and you're not fueling it.
You need energy. Sport is all about the energy. That's why I'm asking.
And you're not fueling in a sense. And for me, I had this body dysmorphia as well. So what I was doing, because believe it or not, I'm quite small for a high hurdle. And
I spotted out when you entered the room. I said, he's not the tallest one.
And I'm wearing platforms today as well. Man, if I didn't have high heels on, I'd have been in big trouble. Right? But you're there and as I was looking at everybody else, I didn't look like them. Nothing was like these athletes. And one of the things that I remember back in that day was like that I was just not as cut as them, not as lean as them. When I look back at the pictures now, I was really cut. I was really lean. But you don't see that yourself. And so the only thing I was thinking was causing, I was just having too much food, eating too much food. And that's the reason why that I fell into that cycle of bulimia. In that
closed
sense.
cycle.
Yeah. And once it starts, and then adding to it, what happens is you're seeing success. So you're winning big races. So you're linking.
It gives you confirmation that that's the right way.
It's right,
probably.
correct.
Yeah.
So you're linking things along the way. And it's the complete opposite, really. But adding to it, when you are a successful champion, people never tell you no. So even if somebody were aware of it, they wouldn't address it because they were fearful of what it made the repercussions of them bringing it up to me may be. Yeah. So they were not even brave enough to bring it up. So even when I asked sometimes for help in that sense, nobody was brave enough to really approach it properly. So you were in that cycle. Yeah. And it's a tough one to deal with because you're on your own. You're still silent. It's still something you need to do on your own, and you're doing it on your own. And it's difficult. And during my documentary, when I was talking about it, I spoke to cyclists who were suffering from the same thing.
There's a lot of cyclists.
Yeah. And you only think it's you.
Yeah.
You never think there's anybody else going through that.
Nobody has this problem. Nope, it's your problem. You're bored.
You.
Yeah. You're
Absolutely.
alone.
Whilst when I most probably, if I'd have spoke to the team, in every Olympic team that I've been in or World Championship, there would have been a lot of people going through that. And that may be, and I'm hoping once I did the documentary and brought it to light, that people feel more comfortable in talking about it and talking about the struggles and why they're there.
Yeah, it's a big weakness, I think. When you spoke out loud, you feel embarrassment or you're afraid to be embarrassed or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so it's tough. And then, it was okay once I'd retired from athletics, I realized it wasn't necessary. Yeah. And then I started talking to people because, of course, then when you start talking to people, they go, oh, yeah, I remember this was happening. And well, then why didn't you say anything?
Yeah. And why they answer?
Yeah.
What they answer? They are not brave enough. Because we were discussing also at home that there is still many cases like this. It's still going on topic. It's still not solved, at least from my feelings.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think people are generally not brave enough. And I say, hopefully, when I did the documentary, it allowed people to be brave enough. Yeah, empower people to speak on both sides. Yeah. So if you see somebody thinking, they don't kind of look right, they're not sounding right, they're going slightly in a bit of a depression, give them a big cheer up, ask questions.
What's going on?
Talk to me. Are you having enough? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Just have that conversation.
Yeah, because there are many stories like this behind the sport, behind the scene, behind the success of the curtain. And there is another topic because in 2017, you decided to speak openly about your sexuality for the first time. I mean, what made that moment feel right? And you once said that you stayed silent because you didn't want your private life to overshadow your performance. And do you ever wish you had come out earlier, or this was the exactly timing that needed to be?
Yeah, it was an interesting topic because I remember my sister said to me, she said, why are you even doing that anyway? Why do you need to do that? I went, oh, well, it virtually came from Kaiser Enquist, the great Swedish high jumper, right?
Yeah.
So Kaiser asked me to do a documentary for her. And I was like, yeah, I'll do this documentary for you. I wasn't thinking anything or doing it. I didn't think I was making any big statement, right? So she comes over to Wales. She films me in Wales. We chatting away, etc., etc. And then I completely forgot about it, right? And so I was in Switzerland with some friends on vacation then, and another friend of mine rang me up and started saying to me, have you seen any of the newspapers? I was like, why? What's happened? Because I'm thinking, I haven't done anything. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't done anything. I don't know what's going on. He went, check online. He didn't really want to say it. So he said, check online. So I checked online. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this documentary. Oh yeah, I forgot. But then it really blew up. It went everywhere. My mate rang me from Canada, Mark, rang me from Toronto. He went, do you know you're in the papers over here? I was like, sorry? my brother who lives in LA rang me and said to me, this is in the papers over here. I was like, you are kidding me. I couldn't believe how much the story blew up in that sense. And I kind of chuckled to myself, right? Because I kind of chuckled because another one of my friends worked after the same kind of topics in the police. And he was always trying to encourage me to come out in like that. He said, you could help him.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's not about you, Jack, right? So he wanted it to help him, And I was like, I can't do it. I know I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then when Kaiser asked me, I was like, yeah, I'll do this. I'll do this whole story for you. And so it was quite interesting. And I remember my mum and dad were on holiday on a cruise, and my sister said to me, I think you better ring them to tell them that is in the papers, because if someone comes up to him on the cruise where they're on holiday, goes, have you seen this about your son? And so when I rang them, they were like, again? I was like, I know, it seems like I've come out 100 times. I don't know about this business. It's so I found it I genuinely did find it quite amusing in a way. But what I didn't realize, and then we have to put a serious hat on things, the real impact it had for so many youngsters who then messaged me and said to me, you've like given me the strength to do that because you are so successful and my parents look up to you and blah, 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 blah. It's allowed me to be me. And I was like, now I understand what my other mate was talking about, because when people again hold you directly and saying how it's empowered, I empowered them just by being me and successful. I felt a sense of pride. Yeah. And it was a lovely feeling. That you could do something when doing nothing. Yeah.
Just being honestly.
Yeah. And it was just really nice. So I was always kind of, as you can see, I'm kind of easy going with the whole thing. So it wasn't difficult in that sense. Yeah. It came out because of a mate. So if Kaiser didn't do it, maybe it would have come out some other way. But
because it's a big statement and you're a big role model. And I think if somebody like you speak openly, it's a lot of giving a lot of power to other athletes, because it's probably a lot of athletes like you
just didn't want
the same position.
Yeah. And I definitely didn't want to do my career because, and sorry, you did ask me about that, why I didn't want to do it, because I didn't want it to generally overshadow my career. Yeah. I wanted my career to be
about performance.
That's what I was interested in, because I was
Colin, I'm the fastest guy in the planet.
Absolutely. That was all I was interested in, because that's what I was told from when I was 15. This is what you do. You just do. So let's just focus on getting those things right. And then you didn't want to cause distractions anywhere else. So if I could just focus on performance, then I'll be okay. And then when the time's right for other stuff, then go do other things. Bring it on,
do other things. No, you're spreading a lot of good energy through the whole of your life. So we have to stop also this Wings for Life World Run, because your post-sport career is fascinating, and Wings for Life World Run has become a huge part of it, if I'm right. You're a sport director of Wings for Life World Run. So what originally drew you to this project? You're smiling, so it should be fun.
I sit down and go, right, take a deep breath, relax now as I tell you the story. No, it was interesting because when I was asked to do it, I always laugh at Anita, who's the CEO for Wings for Life, because she goes, well, because you're the only one who's left. So I had to choose you, didn't I? In this sense. But no, Anita and Alex, two project leads, flew over to see me in London. And a friend of mine had suggested that I got with the team, the Wings for Life team. So they flew to London to see me, right? And I was busy, right? And everybody who knows me will tell you, well, I'm busy. I'm pretty grumpy, right? Pretty miserable, right? So I literally when I met the guys, I took them to one of these private clubs, right? So we went in and I literally said, okay, what do you want? And I folded my arms like this.
Block it.
Yeah. So kind of this was telling them already, it's going to be uphill this. Anyway, so Anita started telling me about Wings for Life, the foundation, what they're doing, what they want to achieve, and what they want to do with the Wings for Life World Run, and whether I'd want to get involved. And as she was talking, I was remembering, I was looking after my nephew at the time, who was like 6, I think. And I remember she was talking and telling me different stories. I just had him in my head. And I remember watching him doing stuff in playgrounds, and I was thinking, God, he's he's always just, when he's throwing himself off these playground equipment, he's always just a moment of being in a wheelchair. I have to do this. I really have to use my name as much as I possibly can to just drive this project through. And so I stopped Anita mid-flight and I said, no, it's okay. I'm good. And she's like, sorry. I said, no, you don't have to tell me anymore. No, I'm in. And it's, whatever triggers you, as long as it's the right trigger, right, you will get involved. And just me understanding, like, my nephew could be a moment away and we have to do something. And when you see how much is not done for spinal cord injury research, then you realize we really have to do something. It's part of our central nervous system. And like, there's so many things that are going to be cured courtesy of finding a cure for spinal cord injury. Yeah. So it's really important. So I bought into the project straight away. And I remember after the first 3 months, Anita gave me a call and she said to me, are you okay? Are you, yeah? I was like, I'm fine. I'm in. Don't worry. I'm absolutely in. So yeah. So to be there from the inception really of, the Wings for Life World Run and then seeing the project grow to where we are today. And then talking to Dietrich Mateschitz, the late Dietrich Mateschitz, of course, when he had this belief that we could get to 1 million people. And I was just like, that's a lot. And he said, no, we can do this. We could do this. And, last year we just had over 320,000 people signed up and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And I do believe we'll get 1 million people all running for the same cause on that one day.
But they have the right person because you have a new target, like in sport also here. So 1 million is a target?
It's the right target. And we're going to do it. I tell you. And
no, I'm totally in. Every year I'm running Wings for Life World Run. Awesome. And every year, at least I do the marathon. Yeah. Because I go and I said, okay, marathon, it will be, honestly, I hate flat running. I hate it because I'm a mountain runner, mountain endurance athlete, and I hate it. But it's not a cliche, but Wings for Life World Run have something special. Yeah. Let's be honest. Also standing on the start line, it's a special energy there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. I love the fact that people understand they're doing something good. Yeah. Both for themselves and for others. Yeah. And it's when you can invest with a double purpose, a dual purpose, I think where you're getting something, but also you are giving a lot, it makes a huge difference. And I think we've just about got that formula correct. But every single year, the team wants to come up with something new, something exciting, because we want to please our supporters. And like yourself, who hates kind of flat running, yeah, maybe we should do something on the fells and up hills and something like that. Maybe we'll get the steepest Wings for Life World Run. We get you to headline it for us.
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, is there any special story maybe that comes to your minds that connects you with Wings for Life? Once it's that you already told us, but is there something that happens during your career in?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my good friends is one of the best Paralympians in UK. Well, I should call her by official title now, Baroness Taryn Thompson. And so Tanny's from the same place as me. And I've known Tanny, our careers have been in parallel. Hers in Paralympic movement and me in the Olympic movement. So we won international sports things together and everything like that. So we've grown up very much. And, when I speak to her and see the problems that she's always gone through, always compared to what I was going through, I kind of had empathy with the story of people in chairs. And so it was really important for me there was a sense of pride that I was doing something from a mate too, in that sense, so that she can always bang on to me and go, actually, you're doing all right, son, aren't you? And I'd be like, I'm trying, Tan. I'm trying. To the extent where I was having a house refurbished and I rang her to ask her, well, what width do I need my doors to be at to make sure you can come through in a chair? And she was just so like that I was thinking that way. She was just impressed. And I think because I've worked with the project in that sense, all these things people come to see you, visiting you. You've got to put things in place so everybody can enjoy. And so, I kind of, I have that sense of pride in being honest and truthful, towards the cause.
No, I mean, thank you for all these thoughts, but also it's a fun thing that Wings for Life World Run was one of the longest races in your career. Let's do it the fun part.
I want to hear that story.
Yeah.
I'll quickly give you this story. So every year that I kind of, even as international sport director, I sign up to run the Wings for Life World Run because you never know. Sometimes they may go, you need to go there and I need to run, so I need a number. So I sign up and I have a number. So of course, what you try to do is when the race sets off, it's brilliant. But of course, I'm in the office when the race sets off. So when the catcher car sets off, you do not want to be the first person in the office to be caught by the catcher car. So just before, as soon as it sets up, I start to move around the office. And I did a lifetime best last year. Well, this one, last series, just over 200 meters, right? So it's a good distance for me.
It's 100 meters more than your discipline.
Yeah. I was tying up at the end as well.
I mean, but now if you could leave our audience with one message, especially maybe the young athletes, what would it be?
You know, one of the things I would say is life is really short, but you can make it really fun. So whatever you apply yourself to, whatever, if it's top sports person, the best chef, the best hairdresser, whatever you apply yourself, do the best version of you and just make it. So enjoy it, make it be fun, but never, ever, ever not take it seriously because you just never know where it could take you. So just work hard at it and enjoy it.
I mean, Colin, thank you. I mean, for your honesty, your energy, and all incredible work you are doing and contributing to the world. So yeah, it's been an honor for us to having you on our podcast.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Upam, da ste uživali v epizodi Mentor Effect in da ste po njej navdihnjeni in motivirani.
Preden odidete, pa bi vas lepo prosila, če še niste naročeni na naš kanal, subscribe. S tem podprete naš projekt, mi pa vam bomo hvaležni za vsak like in iskren komentar.
Posebna zahvala gre pa našemu podporniku Red Bull, ki verjame v našo zgodbo in nam pomaga, da jo lahko delimo z vsemi vami.